Question 11. In the diagram below, we've been given the following lengths. We've been given A to B as being 11 centimeters. We've been given B to X as being Y centimeters. We've been given C to D also as Y centimeters, and D to X as 6 centimeters. And the question asks, by forming and solving a suitable equation, calculate the value of Y. So by forming and solving a suitable equation, it's not telling us what equation we need, but from the diagram, these chords, which when extended become secants, we have two of them, and they are intersecting, and we have lengths involved, which means we're going to be using the intersecting chords theorem or intersecting secants theorem, tomato, tomato. Our formula is the length of AX times BX is going to equal the length of CX times DX. Now, we have to be careful because we need to make sure that the A and B happen to be either ends of a chord, so that checks out. C and D have to be opposite ends of another chord, that checks out. And the point X here will be where these chords, or when it's extended, where these secants intersect. So the letters in the question happen to match perfectly the letters in the formula. Of course, if they didn't, if this had an X here and this had a D here, then when you're using this, you have to make sure you don't get fooled by those. You would have to adjust them in order to look like there is X where they intersect, and D has to be the other end of the chord to make CD. So A to X is the distance going all the way from A to X, which is going to be 11 plus Y. Our distance, our distance B to X is Y, just Y here. So we're going to have a times Y on the outside like so. On the other side, we're going to have CX, which is all of this length here, which will be Y plus 6. And DX, which is this part here, is going to be 6. And that is us having formed an equation. What we now need to do is solve this equation. First of all, we have brackets to expand, so we're going to have a y times both of these on the left-hand side, which will give us an 11y plus y squared. And we're going to have a 6 times both of these on the right-hand side, which is going to give us a 6y plus 36. The fact that our equation has a squared in it gives us a clue that we have a quadratic equation, and in order to solve a quadratic equation, we need to get everything on one side to create an equals 0. Because of the fact that the y squared is on the left-hand side, that's where I'm going to want to put everything, which means this 6y and this 36 have to be moved or rearranged so that they appear on the left-hand side. Taking away 6y from both sides, we'll get rid of the plus 6y on the right-hand side, and taking away 36 from both sides, we'll get rid of this plus 36 on the right-hand side. If we do that, we're going to have a y squared. We're going to end up with an 11y take away 6y, giving us a positive 5y. And we're going to end up with just a minus 36 because of the fact that there were no numbers here in the first place for that minus 36 to mix with. From here now, we would do one of two things. We're either going to use the quadratic formula, which will always work, or for a nice quadratic like this, which can factorize, I'm going to show this by factorizing. A y plus 9 and a y minus 4 are what we want here because of the fact that 9 take away 4, or a plus 9 plus a minus 4, they add to make this positive 5, and the 9 times the minus 4, they multiply to make minus 36. So just highlighting these just now. They multiply to make the last number, and they add to make the middle number. From there, we have each of our factors equals 0. We set each bracket equal to 0. So 9 plus y, or y plus 9, must equal 0. This here will equal 0. So will the y minus 4. And we solve each of these separately. Solving the first one, we're going to end up with y is minus 9. Solving the second one, we're going to end up with y is 4. Now, we have two answers here. Big clue that we only need one of them is the fact that the question only asks us for a value of y, singular. And secondly, because of the fact that y refers to a length, it cannot be a negative number. So this y equals minus 9, we're basically going to rule out, which means our final answer is y equals 4 centimeters. Done.